Welcome back to the History of Science series, where we explore the thinkers whose ideas shaped the modern world. Today's story takes us to the early 19th century, to a quiet desk filled with notebooks, ink, and equations, and to a woman whose imagination leapt far beyond the mechanical age she lived in. This is the story of Ada Lovelace, often called the world's first computer programmer. Ada Augusta Byron was born in 1815, the daughter of the famous poet Lord Byron and Anne Isabella Milbank. Her parents separated soon after her birth, and Ada never knew her father, but her mother, determined to keep Ada from what she viewed as the dangerous imagination of poetry, filled her upbringing with mathematics, geometry, and logic. Ironically, this blend of disciplined study and natural creativity became Ada's greatest strength. As a teenager, Ada was introduced to the mathematician and inventor Charles Babbage. Babbage showed her a working model of his difference engine, a mechanical calculator designed to eliminate human error in mathematical tables. Ada was fascinated, not just by what the machine was, but by what it could become. Babbage soon recognized her as someone who understood his ideas at the deepest level. In 1842, Ada was asked to translate an article written about Babbage's next invention, the Analytical Engine, a machine far more ambitious than the difference engine. The Analytical Engine would not merely calculate, it would be programmable. It could loop, branch, and store information. It could operate on symbols, not just numbers. Ada didn't simply translate the article. She added her own notes, and these notes were 3 times longer than the original text. In them, she laid out a vision no one else in the 19th century had the imagination to articulate. Ada described how the machine could follow sequences of instructions, what we now call algorithms. She included an example of how to compute Bernoulli numbers step by step, creating what historians now consider the first computer program. But Ada went further still. She imagined the engine manipulating symbols beyond mathematics, suggesting that someday machines could compose music, create art, and work with any information expressible in symbolic form. In other words, Ada Lovelace predicted the foundations of modern computing, artificial intelligence, and digital creativity long before a single electronic circuit existed. Her insight didn't come from mathematics alone. It came from what she called her poetical science, the ability to blend logic with imagination. Ada understood that numbers could represent much more than quantities. They could represent patterns, and patterns could represent ideas. This was the leap no one else made. Ada Lovelace died at just 36, never seeing her ideas realized. Babbage's machines were never completed, but nearly a century later, when modern computing emerged in the 1940s, her notes were rediscovered. Engineers recognized instantly that she had seen the future long before they did. Today, Ada stands at the very beginning of the digital world, a visionary who understood not only how machines could calculate, but how they could transform human creativity. Thank you for listening to another episode in our History of Science series. If you enjoy these narrated audio articles, be sure to subscribe and explore the full playlist for more stories about the scientists, thinkers, and innovators who shaped our understanding of the universe. More episodes coming soon.